recording, and we will be going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're live.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. It is currently 8 a.m. like normal. It is about 77 degrees outside right now, so be prepared. It's going to get hot, hot, hot again. This is going to be another hot week, so be ready. Now, as far as traffic conditions are concerned right now, it is pretty slow. Traffic is backed up pretty far up past the Y, and it is going very, very slowly and steady into Tulsa right now. So if you have not left yet, maybe consider 75 or even a Mingo. So those might be your alternate routes to go if you're in a hurry. So check that out. But yeah, with that being said, what do we got as far as upcoming events on the local calendar, my friend?
Local calendar, I've just got a few things. It's a really slow week, and like you said, with school being back in, I think that's the real deciding factor for how everything kind of goes. But we've got on the Owassoisms, it's only on the 31st of August, the Farmers and Artisans Market, and of course that's at the Redbud Festival Park. That's it on Owassoisms. And then we have on the Chamber website, I have a ribbon cutting at Revive Wellness, and then a ribbon cutting on the 28th at Little Caesars Pizza, and then they have pastries and perks that day too.
Don't we already have a Little Caesars Pizza here? It's over there by it's next door to the Coney Islander, right?
I think so, but
They
I
have
guess
another location now?
I guess so. Who knows? Or maybe sometimes what they do is they open, but then they have a grand opening for like the city, because their business wants them to go ahead and get started.
Oh,
then they join the
gotcha.
chamber and do
now
all the,
it's the official because they're officially part of the. Okay, I guess that kind of makes sense.
Exactly. That's all it is.
New
Just
manager decided to join the Chamber of Commerce or something. Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Exactly, and that's pretty much all I've got on local events for the day. So
it's kind of hard to have like a grand opening if let's say it is a second location. It's kind of hard to have a grand opening. There's already another location in this town.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess if it's the same owner or the same manager of the restaurant, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But like, if you're like a competing franchise owner, like even if you have a non-disclosure agreement, it's like a grand opening of Little Caesars. It's like somebody like me, like we already have one in a while. So what the heck do I care?
Yeah,
it's like, oh, this one's over on German Corner. Oh, okay. I guess it'll be easier for the folks that live in Collinsville to get it. So I don't know. That's just me being cynical. All right. So with that being said, we will push right on into today's topic. And I don't know if y'all saw, but it was last Friday, I believe, right? That good old RFK Jr. gave Trump his endorsement. You know, he's officially dropped out of the race, and there is a lot going on right now. Yeah. So
to be more specific, he didn't technically drop out. He just said he's suspending his campaign, and he's taking his name off the ballots in red states. So that way Trump can win red states, but he's leaving his name on the ballot in blue states.
Oh, so he's really screwing over the Democratic Party. Well, I mean, as rightfully he should. I mean, the Democratic Party has screwed him and his campaign partner. I mean, I've seen interviews of her talking about how they're suing RFK. The Democratic Party, or the DNC, is suing RFK in multiple states for attempting to be on the ballot. I mean, that's how you know the Democratic Party is beyond reproach. They are beyond overly corrupt because they're suing a rival candidate for wanting to be on the ballot.
Yeah, and we're talking not just a rival candidate. This is a legacy Democrat. This is RFK, Robert Kennedy Jr. His father is, Robert Kennedy, and then his uncle is JFK, for God's sake. So
I mean, yeah, when you think of political heavyweights in the U.S., I mean, the Kennedy family is one that comes to mind. I mean, this is absolutely insane. The fact that, and then partisan hackery done in the White House again. The minute he endorsed Trump, the White House was like, okay, well, you no longer need a Secret Service detail. Like, okay, let's no longer protect the Kennedy family. No. I mean, there's argument. I mean, I get that argument. It's like going, why are we wasting tax dollars to protect presidential families after they're out of the White House? I get it, but at the same time, it's like, how good would that look as us as a country if, after the next president was out of the White House, they're immediately assassinated after. That would look bad on us as a country. It's like, well, somebody came in and just executed a former president. Like, oh, I guess don't ever be president again.
Yeah.
But,
No
that's
kidding.
absolutely insane. Partisan hackery in the White House. Again, it's like they removed a lot of detailed security from Trump, and then that assassination happened, and now they're mad that RFK is supporting Trump, and now they're like, well, you don't need security anymore. It's like there's some evil stuff happening in the White House right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you can think he's a traitor to the party. You can think he's a traitor to the country for supporting Donald Trump, but that's really not logical thinking. I mean, the Democratic Party has done everything they can to sabotage this man.
Yeah. And we're talking about, he said that he straight up said in his speech, this is not the Democratic Party that my father and my uncle were a part of. So
No.
What has happened here? Either
JFK would be considered a conservative by today's Democratic Party.
exactly, like I said, the Democratic Party today is basically communist. It's like communism and fascism at this point, because it's a communist dictatorship, if that's what you want to call it. Because how can you say that this guy who has been around since, like the Kennedy era he's the one that's changed? No, he's still the same RFK from back in the day. The only people that are changing are the Democratic Party's policies and who they are advocating for now. Like it's not the average American working man.
It's the weapon. I mean, it's the same thing politics has always been a part of. It's just the Democrats are the best at it. Republicans do it as well, but they just don't do it as effectively, and their messaging isn't as good. And a lot of times the messaging might be like the Democrats just get swept up in this thing. Okay, we have to do this. Like it's like the reason they're appealing to the pro-Palestine movement or the pro-Hamas movement. They're swept up in it. Like they don't have a choice. If they say we're for the Jewish people, then you lose a significantly. So again, it's again, you choose between the Jews or the Muslims. That's what they have to do in the Democratic Party. They go, well, a lot of our base and a lot of our big donors are Jewish people, but there's more votes in the Muslim community because there's more Muslims.
Yep.
So they're going, well, forget about the Jews. We'll throw them under the bus and we'll start, going after the Muslim vote.
They're trying to pander to both sides, as always. They're always pandering to both sides. But the problem is what you just said, is the Jewish community has the money and the Islamic community has the
votes.
numbers.
Yeah.
And they keep going back and forth like, well, we need those votes. Well, you can't play both sides at this, because one side wants one side dead, and you're playing both sides. Yeah. And that was the whole and only reason why that Governor Shapiro from Pennsylvania did not get picked as VP.
Yeah.
Because he was Jewish and he had thrown his support down for Israel.
That's why
at
it
some
goes
point
walls,
in his
because
career.
he's from a large Islamic district, with Michigan. So there's a heavy Islamic population over there. And like I said, he's what they want. He's the goofy white guy. He's the comic relief white guy for Kamala Harris's campaign. Mm-hmm. They go, he'll secure the racist liberals in our party, the ones that don't like people of color. But that's the whole point. That's what they go. That's their logic. Go, we have to have a woman of color because obviously you can't replace the first woman of color president. And then you go, and then we have the Klan member part of our party that's always been a part of our party in here, and we have to appeal to them as well. And Tim Walz is the punching bag white guy that we can throw in there. So
yeah.
It's very sad, very odd. And again, this is not the Democratic Party of JFK. I mean, JFK was, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. It's like, that is not the Democratic. Literally, all these people are handout people. Like, what are you going to do for me? What are you going to do for me? Where's my cut?
Yeah.
Where's my benefits?
Where are my abortions?
Yeah.
Where is my what's it called? Reparations. It's what can you do for me? Democrats, what can you do for me? Here's my hand, give me something.
I mean, yeah, the Democratic Party has essentially turned into pay me for my vote. Pay me for my vote. Instead, it's like, I mean, at least you can say with the Republican Party, it's like, yeah, we just don't like taxes, so we don't want to pay the government. Like, I like that. And so do Democrats. Democrats and people who vote Democrat like that philosophy too. They don't want to pay any money. But like I said, they will vote to tax people they think should pay more, not knowing that that's going to negatively impact them in their jobs or in their sector of work.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like it's just the weaponization of the narrative. It's like just say these are the people. Like same. Nothing changes. You know, it's like these are the people wronging you, and we'll go after them for you, and get their money and give it to you if you give us your vote.
Yep, that's 100% right.
It's the mob. That's all politics has ever been. It's weaponizing the mob. I mean, thank God we're a constitutional republic, and we're not pure democracy. Because that's again, I hate. It's like we are a democracy. We are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic
that holds democratic elections for our officials.
Yes,
that's it.
So, you know, I mean, I guess in the loosest sense of the term of democracy, that's what we are. But very loose sense of the term democracy. Yeah. But yeah, it's a scary thing that the Democrats have turned into. Again, they are the people, they are socialists, they are communists now, and it's obviously an open for everyone to see. But I mean, there are so many people who have never experienced I mean, again, think of the arrogance of being able to say, "Oh, that wasn't real communism. That wasn't real communism." I mean, that's why we just got to start throwing people back in their face. You know, it's like just say, "Oh, well, that's not real capitalism." It's like, well, Bill Gates is the richest man in the world. Well, yeah, but he's not a real capitalist. You know, he's got a monopoly. That's not real capitalism.
Yep.
Anybody who's in bed with the government, that's not real capitalism. If they are subsidized by the government, that's not real capitalism. That the industry should be able to rise up by itself. So it's just odd. It's just strange. But yeah, let's pull up some of these clips. And like I said, again, what was really cool about what happened is with the RFK. Sorry, we really kind of went way off topic there, way off subject. But what was neat about the RFK endorsing Trump was it has overshadowed and crapped on the DNC. Like people are talking about the DNC. But I mean, you know, if you're in a right wing, you know, it's like the clips you see at the DNC, you just kind of laugh at them in jokes and circles, you know. But again, it's the same logic of what we talked about forever. People on the right think people on the left are dumb. People on the left know that people on the right are evil, despite the fact they don't believe in God, they don't believe in the devil, they don't believe in evil. They just go, whatever you disagreeing with me is the greatest form of evil in the world. Mm-hmm. So, but in us, we don't take them seriously. I mean, we should. We have to take their position seriously because if they don't have a religious worldview or a foundational philosophy, then they can justify any actions against us. Yeah. They can lie, cheat, or steal in order to get what they want.
Well, that's what we talked about on the show before regarding like the less religious. If there is nothing to look forward to after you die, you have to create heaven on earth. And the people who try to create a heaven on earth end up creating a hell on earth.
Yes.
And anybody that's preventing you from getting to your imaginary utopia that you think that you can get to in your head is the devil.
Yeah. So I keep jumping off topic here because we're talking about the foundational philosophies of why people believe what they believe. But RFK's endorsement of Trump has basically overcast a shadow on the DNC. Like, I mean, they crapped on him. I mean, you get a big endorsement from somebody from the opposite party that's like that has as much bona fides as the Kennedy family does. I mean, like the DNC's, it's just a footnote in that endorsement. So, I mean, if you can see the thumbnail, it's, you know, the Arnold Schwarzenegger from Predator grabbing each other's fists, you know, and doing a handshake between RFK and Donald Trump. But yeah, that's what's so neat about it is it's so cool that he was able to go ahead and give Donald Trump that endorsement to basically screw over with the Democrats because they screwed him over really hard.
Yep.
So we'll go ahead and watch this little clip of him giving an endorsement to Trump real quick.
All right. Here we go.
The chronic disease crisis was one of the primary reasons for my running for president, along with ending censorship in the Ukraine war. It's the reason I've made the heart-wrenching decision to suspend my campaign and to support President Trump.
We just had a very nice endorsement from RFK Jr., Bobby. I want to thank Bobby. That was very nice. That was really very nice. That's big. He's a great guy, respected by everybody.
The chronic disease crisis was one of the primary.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. That's awesome that they were able to cross party lines and do that. You know, and I know, and the thing is, the Democrats weaponize this thing all the time, but this is more impactful because of who Robert Kennedy Jr. is. all these rhinos that are just Republicans in name only that go over to the Democratic Party. It's like, I would never vote for Trump. I'm voting for because I have a moral conscience. It's like, no, they don't. They're just bought and paid for, and they're knowing that they're doing their backdoor handshakes, trying to maintain favor in their districts because their districts aren't as red. That's what rhinos are. Like, if you're in a district that you're not sure is 100% red for you, you'll go over and shake hands with the Democrats and be a rhino in order to maintain power. So again, rhino, Republican in name only.
Yep.
So, and like I said, look at their voting track record. That's how you know whether or not somebody's actually a Republican or a Democrat.
Truth. Yeah, but again, as we get back to, like I said, a diehard legacy Democrat denounces the Democratic Party. I mean, this is only a short, snippet of the speech, but he straight up says that this is not the party that my father and uncle were a part of.
Yeah.
And he says that they've basically turned into a dictatorship or an oligarchy.
Yeah.
And
which is scary because the Kennedy family is a pseudo oligarchy in this country too. That's how powerful of a family they are. They are the closest thing to a political or royalty that you can have in this country.
Throwing, but you go back to the logic of he's throwing people that he can trust into positions around the thing. And that's basically, kind of like you look at it, and that's what a bunch of the Democrats were complaining about Trump. It's funny that they love Kennedy, but Trump basically did what Kennedy did. Like, I put my daughter in a position. Oh, I put my kids in positions of power, or like their spouses in some of the positions. But that's exactly what the Kennedys did. And they preach about the Kennedys, like the Kennedys were the greatest thing that ever happened.
I know. This is probably going to tarnish that. Like, they're not going to. The Democrats. I mean, they're probably not going to want to tout Kennedy's legacy anymore because of this political betrayal.
I mean, but that's the thing is like they always like to say that there was always a big switch in the Republican and Democratic Party. So whether or not you believe that or not, which there is slight evidence for both sides on that, which the politicians never really changed, but. If you go back through and you look here, like they're gonna have to. If you don't believe what he just said, you can't go. Oh, look who was a Democrat, John F. Kennedy, one of the best Democrats ever. You can't ever tout his name anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing. The people on the left, like, there is no forgiveness. Like, we can go back and forgive all the historical figures on the right. It's like going, look, like. That's why nobody has ill will towards, like, the South. It's like, yes, they were fighting for slavery, but we forgive. Like, we have to come together as a nation. We can't just be like, oh, we're going to hold these old grudges forever. This is why the whole reparations argument is so bad for America and so bad for society, because there's no it's like, I won't forgive you until I feel like I get what I'm owed. And, like, when will you ever get what you're owed? It's like, that's why forgiveness is the greatest thing ever, because if you hold it in forever, you're going to kill yourself. You're going to kill yourself with grief and anger and despair. It's like, forgive, forget, let it go. And that's something that the Democratic Party is incapable of doing at this point in time. It's like, we cannot live like this. We cannot continue to weaponize the races against each other the way that the Democratic Party is. Mm-hmm. They go, we want this, we want that. It's like, you cannot hold people accountable for something, they didn't do. And you cannot expect people to... Look, people can have bad takes. People can be wrong. But you have to be able to forgive them in order to move on. Doesn't mean you ever have to trust them again. But you have to be able to forgive them to be able to move on. You just got to let it go. And we live in a society that is... we live in an a-religious society now, and we are incapable of forgiving now. People don't want to forgive. It's like, no, I'm going to hold on to it forever because I can use it as a political weapon forever. Period.
100%. 100%. But moving on, like I said, back to RFK and his endorsement of Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. So you have to ask yourself, are you the same Democrat that was for Robert F. Kennedy, 5-10 years ago?
Yeah.
Or has the Democratic Party left you? I said, that's the question you have to ask yourself. Because has Robert F. Kennedy changed, or has the Democratic Party changed? And I would argue the Democratic Party is changed.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same argument Reagan had back in the 80s. It's like, I didn't leave the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party left me.
No.
You know, I made fun of somebody. Literally, you can look up the reason Reagan left the Democratic Party. It's because he made fun of somebody that he wasn't supposed to make fun of. He just made a passing joke
I'm
about
pretty
somebody.
sure it was a Kennedy.
Yeah, I
too.
think it was the Kennedy. Yeah, and he just made a passing joke and they go, yeah, you don't get to say that, and go, you have to come out and make a public statement apologizing about it. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's just a joke. And then they were like, well, then we're going to come against you as hard as we can. And then he switched sides and goes, look, I was kicked out because I criticized the wrong people and made a joke. And that's what's happening right now. I mean, that's eventually what's going to happen because the Democratic Party is nothing but a purity test. Again, without forgiveness, you're just going to alienate a bunch of people out. That's why you can't just weaponize rage. I mean, but again, weaponizing rage is the most powerful thing you can do because outrage gets people together. That's why we were manipulated by Facebook by all those police shootings and stuff because anger was shared more. Happy videos of puppies jumping around and playing with babies they were cute and made everybody happy, but outrage got shared more. And that's just the way it is. We live in an outraged culture and an outraged society. He goes, all that police brutality stuff, that was algorithmic manipulation in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Because people love anger. They love outrage. And that's what the Democratic Party has been capitalizing on for the last 20 years.
Yeah. So they're not, and same with their campaign strategy with Walz and Harris is it's not a campaign for Harris. It's a campaign against Trump.
Yes.
Because they don't have any policy. They
Still don't have any policies. Yeah. I mean, this will be an interesting debate coming up with she doesn't have a record to stand on.
And two, she's also running like Biden's campaign wasn't a thing.
Yeah, she's running like she's clean slate. Like she's not currently in political office right now. Like going, and once I'm president, things will be different. Well, you're the vice president. Why aren't things different already?
Yeah. Just coming right back to it, just like you're in power right now. What's going on that you can't do it? And two, there's another pressing matter that we're having anyway, is like the vice president's responsible for counting the votes for an election, for presidential election. So it's kind of weird that she can count her own votes and her opponent's votes.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go ahead and kind of read some of these things because we are really just just going off on tangents here left and right.
Yeah, so you want me to pull up? Which one you want me to pull up?
It doesn't matter, just pick one.
All right, we'll do your Patrick David one that you sent me real quick. Scroll over and transition.
So if you like politics because the strategy behind it, you tell me where the strategy behind this is. So today, the Biden-Harris White House announced that Bobby Kennedy will no longer get Secret Service protection because he officially endorsed Trump 2 days ago, and he will not be competing in the 10 battleground states, only in the other 40. He's going to be on the ballot on the other 40, but he's no longer going to get Secret Service. And he got Secret Service 2 days after Trump's assassination attempt on July 13th. They gave it to him on the 15th because Trump said RFK's got to get it, so they gave it to him. And now you drop it. So what does this really mean? So this means Bobby Kennedy, who was going to go campaign, the safest place Bobby Kennedy is going to be is when he's next to Trump. Really? Do you realize if Bobby or RFK Jr. went to Trump just for a job, let's just say, not because he likes him, let's just say, and you had the most important guy you lost, you should have never lost Bobby, because there's a lot of people in America that did not want to vote for Biden. They did not want to vote for Kamala. They did not want to vote for Trump. They were willing to give their vote up to Bobby Kennedy. And now, what you're telling me and telling him is, hey, Mr. RFK Jr., the safest place for you is when you're right next to Trump.
Yeah.
That means
go ahead and pause it. See, and again, this is what I'm talking about. If you can't find forgiveness, then you just push your friends, or even your enemies away to your other enemies. You push friends who don't have the same ideology as you out, and then they go into the arms of your enemies because they're welcoming them with open arms.
Yeah, it's that meme of it's the red guy, the blue guy, and then the white guy in the middle, representing,
the Democratic Party,
Democrats, Republicans, and then the independent voter. And
it's like going, I think both sides make valid points. And then the blue guy, the Democrat, shoves them into the arms of the Republicans, and the red guy looks at the white guy and goes, hey, are you all right? And then the blue guy goes up, why are you siding with them?
Why are you siding with the
It's
bad
like
guys?
you pushed your enemy, you pushed the neutral person into the arms of your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what did you expect was going to happen? It's like, if you get physical or shove people away, that's what's going to happen.
Yep.
So it just makes sense. So go ahead and pull up another thing, and we can...
You got it. We'll do this one. This one is basically, it sums up.
Yeah, this is a
man who votes for Kamala Harris.
Yeah, this can't, like, part of me thinks this can't be real, but I mean, this is the stuff that the modern, the Democratic Party is pushing and our modern culture is pushing. Like, this guy is the epitome of what it means to be a progressive liberal today. And if you don't think that's the case, you're dead wrong. I mean, this is the epitome of a progressive Democratic voting liberal. Period. Watch this.
Pronouns, like, I'm just really excited that we have like the first black woman that could be the president of the United States. And you know, like my wife, right? We're in a polyamorous relationship. The lover that my wife took is African American, and like I've learned so much about the struggle that people of color go through as a result of my wife's boyfriend. And so I'm excited to really do my part to show solidarity from us marginalized communities. And like the best way to do that is to get the first woman of color to be the commander-in-chief, and I'm really excited. I'm so pumped. Use he, they pronouns. Like, I
hope
really
I hope that's a troll. I hope that guy bought a ticket and is just out there goofing around as a Democrat. But with everything I've seen on TikTok, with everything I've seen on Instagram, with everything I've seen in the modern zeitgeist of our culture, that I believe. I believe that guy is genuine.
That, and two, we're also talking about the Democrats are the party who have also been like saying, you know, let people riot, let people protest, you know, don't let the police stop them. Well, there are riots and protests going on at the DNC in Chicago right now, and this is I've seen several different reports on the ground that are saying like, this is the first time I've seen the DNC supporting the police and building walls and barriers and not letting people in.
Yeah, just like that video we showed last week of that guy trying to get that illegal immigrant into the Democratic Party. Go, sorry, you can't get in without ID. Well, apparently you can vote without ID, and you can get into our country without ID, but you can't get into the Democratic Party without ID or proper, or going in through one of the junction points.
Yep. So we're talking about hypocrisy. Thy name is Democrat.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I know. Go ahead and show a couple more, and then we'll wrap this show up because we were pushing time.
Yeah, we definitely are. Then there's this one right here, and it's just a little comic that they have, and it's like it's a lady with her kid at the grocery store. That'll be $300. She goes, sorry, we have to put a few items back. And so it's a mom going back and putting items back and then walking out of the store with her kid. Mom, why did we have to put those items back? And then there's a Kamala Harris sign outside that says 4 more years of joy, Kamala 2024. And that just sums up what is going on right now.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great comic right there, man. I mean, it sums up perfectly what's going on in the world. Again, I can't get out of the grocery store only buying a handful of items. Like I'd probably buy like 10 or 12 items at the grocery store.
Usually, like with me, like a week, I'll buy anywhere from like 6 to like 12 items, and I'm still leaving
like
$100.
$100.
Like if I'm lucky, I can get out at around 50. And that, I mean, $20, like I said, back in the day, getting like 5 to 10 items, you'd have been like $40, and you're out of there. But now it's ridiculous. Everything's doubled.
It's crazy. I mean, insurance rates are, like I said, we're seeing 40% increases here in the state of Oklahoma on insurance rates alone. Like I said, California, they wanted to jack them up 50, and Allstate and State Farm were like, we're not doing business in the state anymore because you won't let us do it. So yeah, it's absolutely crazy. So I mean, the cost of living has quadrupled since Biden took office. So yeah, go ahead and see if we got another comic. You had a bunch you wanted to show me.
This is the last one that I have. I pretty much showed them all. This is the last one.
Okay.
And I'll let it go play through. I think we missed part of it, so I'm gonna let it play through before I start it.
Spare some change?
Sure.
You didn't put anything in there.
Yes, I did. I put hope in there. Hope. Don't spend it all in one place, Raggy.
You can't read it. It's a Family Guy meme, but it says Kamala Harris is Peter and the American people is this homeless guy sitting here.
I put hope in there. I put hope. That's so true. I mean, again, you're just hoping and praying. I mean, who is currently in office right now? What political party has power right now? And you're blaming Trump for the issues of today?
Yeah.
I mean, you can blame COVID for sure, but I don't think you can blame Trump for COVID.
Yeah. I mean, the one meme that I can't stop seeing being posted from the right, and it's true, but it's like Donald Trump has only been a politician for like 8 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, and this guy's been in politics for 8 years, and these politicians who have been in politics for 20, 30, 40 years plus are telling you that everything that's wrong with the country is his fault.
Yeah. Get wrecked. Get wrecked. What a crazy clown world we live in.
Yep. 100%.
But yeah, that's about all we've got for you today. Just wanted to kind of talk about the swinging endorsement of Robert Kennedy Jr. to Donald J. Trump. So hopefully we get a good election and we can maybe change regimes, go back to the way things were, maybe get gas prices back down to $1.98.
Yep.
And we can get grocery prices back down and get the housing market and get the border under control and solve a lot of problems here locally instead of worrying about the rest of the world.
Yeah, bring back manufacturing, onshore, drilling here in the States to bring down
become
gas
energy
prices.
independent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that all comes down to another reason why groceries are going up. If gas goes up and that makes the cost of shipping go up for hauling groceries back and forth, groceries have to go up too by proxy because that's how
the
they're going to pay
logistical nightmare.
Exactly.
If energy costs come down, everything else follows suit. Period.
Mm-hmm. Energy is what keeps the economy moving.
Yep. Fossil fuels, baby. But yeah, that's about all we've got for you today. I know we were really long-winded, but that's all we've got for you. I hope that you guys enjoyed the show. Remember to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. This is the Twins with Owasso Live. We are signing off. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.